Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We'll just make sure we get everybody here, and then we start the community update. El Jaboom, good to see you here. Thanks for your continued support.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Elja.
Great to see some familiar faces, as always. Almost thought I wasn't going to be able to join then. Got the cannot fetch space error, but all sorted. How's everybody doing? Can you believe it's almost December? End of the year.
You know what December means, Mike?
Go for it.
It means the songs that the wonderful Rick Middleton puts out for us with the community is coming. The Christmas song is on the way. I've had a sneak peek as well. Sneak preview. It's epic this year.
I'll wait to see it.
We had a re-release of the original one the other day.
My kids love the original.
Yeah, original and best, as they say. I see Rick giving us a thumbs up. Legend.
Are you doing a video again, Rick? Nice. I can't wait to see that. How exciting.
So much effort, but much, much appreciated.
Good to see you, Clover, Nova. Who else in here? Rob's here. Wombats, some familiar faces. Trident, Summer. Dodenberg, I see you. Mav 100. Christian. Let's do an intro for Christian. Got a big reveal coming later on. Cool, we'll give it 2 more minutes and then we'll get into it. I guess while we're waiting, do a round of introductions. Many of you know who we are, but in case anybody doesn't, I'm Mike Blake-Crawford. I'm the marketing director at World Mobile, responsible for all things community and communications. And I'm your host tonight.
Thank you very much, as always, Mike, for being the host, MC of the night. I'm Micky Watkins. I am the founder and the CEO of World Mobile.
Just lost you there, Micky, on my side.
Oh, phew, I thought it was me.
Anyone else?
The world needs better connectivity.
Just getting into it.
I blame X for that one. I'll go. So hi, everybody. Andrew, one of the co-founders, been here for a very long time. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your evening to come and join us. We really, really appreciate it.
Hand over to James.
Yeah, hi, I'm Chief Architect. As you know, I've got, for those of you who have heard before, I've got a background in technology and inventing. I invented a type of touchscreen that we tend to use on our mobile phone today and made the first VoIP call on a mobile phone. And then I started a company called TruePhone, which is a multi-country MVNO in the USA and Australia and all over the world. So I've got some operational experience for running mobile services, telcos, and so on. So that's my background.
Incredible background. Josie Page, it's been a while. You're back.
I'm back. She's back. I was going to say it has been a while since I've been on one of these spaces, and for quite a while I was sort of hiding behind the W, but I'm here in my own right this evening. I've been at World Mobile for nearly 3 years now, so not as long as the founders, but feels like a very long time. Lots of fun, and in my day-to-day I support Micky and Alan and sit across sort of lots of different work streams. We've got Josh here as well tonight, haven't we?
Hey guys, pleasure to meet everybody. I'm Josh. I'm the CEO of Minutes Network, Micky's brother, and the CIO, or I was the CIO of World Mobile. Pleasure to meet you all.
Good to have you here, Josh.
And just an update. Unfortunately, there is a bad flu, COVID. Not sure what it is going around at the moment. A few people are suffering across the business. So, unfortunate apologies that Alan won't be able to join us this evening. Antonio and Gregory, but we'll cover off their updates in the agenda as usual.
And just a disclaimer: although connectivity is really important, I don't think you can catch COVID. But I am also down with a heavy bout of COVID and have been for the last 3-4 days. And this one
It really does feel like we've spread it through teams, right?
Yeah, it does. Okay, let's begin.
Let's get into it. So it's been an interesting week. There's been a lot of speculation and commentary across the community in certain areas, and there's been a few topics of conversation that I think it's only right that we address head on. So in doing that, we've invited Josh to join us this evening. Josh, great to have you with us, and it's going to be fantastic to learn about everything that you're doing with Minutes Network, your relationship with World Mobile, and the relationship moving forward. So to start us off, we want to hear about Minutes Network. Tell us all about it. Why did you found Minutes Network, and what is the problem that you're solving?
Well, thanks, Mike. So Minutes Network, I mean, we founded it because we saw that the industry in voice communications has been stagnant for a very long time. We're talking like 35 years. There's been no real innovation. There's been no transformation. There's been no change. We've been stuck with legacy telcos, operational methods, and sort of the way that they roll things out. And nothing's changed. I mean, it works great. We can all call each other. But I mean, we've got something very special here, unique piece of engineering. It's proprietary software that we've built over the last, good amount of time. And we're going to be transforming the international wholesale voice market. And we're using the blockchain and its technologies to create a brand new sharing economy. And we're going to be the first operator to reward all of our customers and all of the people involved in the process of call termination for making and receiving calls. Just so you know, if you don't know, the international wholesale voice market terminates 270 billion minutes of traffic annually, and it generates revenues of around $13.25 billion, quote Telegeography in the UK. And this does not include domestic traffic. The market is currently overly complex. It is saturated with too many wholesale operators and very expensive. And as I said, there is no new innovation taking place to reduce those costs or to allow the general progression of the industry itself. So we're going to cut through the metaphorical sand and deliver better value for operators, consumers, and we're going to introduce brand new industry-changing technology that we've been working on to the calling market. And like World Mobile, we're going to put the power back in the hands of the people.
It's incredible. Sorry, Mike, just to jump in there. I just want to tell everybody, Josh has been in telecommunications for as long as I have. We first started our first business actually with Andy Soper. And Josh was the guy that came to me, I think you were 12 years old, Josh, and told me, look, there's this industry of minute trading. How do we get involved? I said, and he said, well, I already am involved. And we put up our first soft switches and we compiled open source information and we invented some cool things. And then Josh has ever since, this has been, although he's very multifaceted and multi-skilled, this is something that he is an absolute pro in. So when you decided that you were going to actually take Minutes Network, which was probably built 6 years ago, right, Josh?
Absolutely, yes.
When you decided that you were going to do that, for me as being a co-founder with you is very meaningful. And, we have a great relationship with all co-founders, but also as my younger brother, it was very hard for me to say, okay, Josh, off you go. But this is something that's really, really epic. And I'm very, very proud of you. I'm very happy that you're actually doing this and you're going to transform the minutes industry.
Thank you very much, Micky. Sorry, Mike, I cut you off, so carry on.
So how do you manage to deliver such low termination costs?
So we've heavily invested in our engineering in the MinTech solutions and the protocols that we've built. It's all proprietary and custom software. We've engineered around the low cost, and we've reduced the cost by the implementation of special technologies that I won't announce today because the competition is listening, and if they're not listening now, they will be soon. But we're partners with several tier one telcos across the globe right now. We'll be rolling out, to more than 100 tier one partners across the world in the next year or so. We plan to change the game with the technology we're about to release. It is massive, and it's not something that's been seen before in or outside of the industry. And what we have allows us to create structural cost advantages versus established legacy operators, Mike.
Incredible. And how is Minutes Network going to work with World Mobile? I assume there's a natural overlap, an opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. So we will be one of World Mobile's minute termination providers. We hope we'll be first in routing. We will be curating a list of destinations that World Mobile subscribers need most, and we'll be prioritizing this in our rollouts. And of course, World Mobile will get our most preferential rates, meaning significant discounts compared to traditional offerings from telecommunication operators today.
Okay, that sounds great, but is there any risk to there being such a close relationship between the two businesses?
No, we operate in an entirely different space within the telecommunications sector. Minutes Network purely focuses on and terminates voice communications, whereas World Mobile is connecting the unconnected and serving the underserved, mostly as an infrastructure play. But of course, like all MNOs, their subscribers will need minutes. And we have and will have contracts and SLAs in place mitigating all potential and possible risks between the two businesses.
Okay, and I guess the main question that many people in the community will have this evening or this afternoon, depending on where they're listening in from, is what will the benefit to World Mobile's EarthNode operators, token holders, and community be?
So, there's definitely a benefit to EarthNode operators, and we're looking at a way in which the EarthNode operators will handle the telephone network's validation. And I'm working with Antonio and Micky on that quite, very closely. Looking beyond the EarthNode operators, to the wider World Mobile network, all World Mobile token holders will be receiving an airdrop of MNT. I personally have made sure of that. We will keep World Mobile updated, and there will be an announcement made on all of our channels, and I believe the World Mobile channels too, and the instructions regarding claiming or receiving your airdrop will be made available. All World Mobile tokens holders with no strings attached will be receiving that airdrop, and the higher the WMT holding, the higher the amount that will be airdropped. So, make no mistake, although I have been in the background at World Mobile all of this time, I've definitely been very strong in the background, and it hasn't gone unnoticed how awesome the World Mobile community is and what we're achieving together. I'm on the socials every day. I read the EarthNode operator chat every day. I read the main chat. I'm on the Twitter. I've been on the Reddit. I'm following very, very closely from behind the scenes.
Okay, well, I guess with that in mind, the question I've got to ask, based on some of the conversations that we've seen on X and on Telegram this week, are you selling WMT?
I'm extremely passionate about World Mobile and where we're going. No, I am not selling WMT, and I do not have any plans to sell WMT in the near future. Co-founders don't even have their WMT. It's a decision that we all made to lock up for the greater benefit of the community and the companies in general. I'm just bringing change to an industry that's been static for the last 35 years, which is going to benefit us all in multiple ways. So absolutely not am I selling any WMT.
Appreciate the clarity, Josh. Micky, yesterday, World Mobile Token put out a statement about the World Mobile Operational Fund. What is the World Mobile Operational Fund?
The operational fund is there as its namesake to be able to support World Mobile through its different stages of growth. It was meant to be unlocked after 6 months from the token generation event, but we didn't start unlocking it until around 18 months afterwards. The funds have moved, and the funds have moved specifically to provide market makers, exchanges, and also provisions for future listings so that we can provide liquidity into the market as expected. But I think there's been a lot of speculation. I've tried to give logical, rational answers, and most of the community have taken those answers really well and understood why we've done what we've done, but we haven't been selling. So if there's any information out there that anybody's saying that we're selling, we have not sold a single WMT token, not from the co-founders, not from the operational reserve, not from any other pool. Everything is on chain, and you can see that. That's the beauty of the blockchain. And we will continue not to sell until the very point that we have to. And if we have to, then we'll speak to the community. But right now, in this current ecosystem, the liquidity won't support any sale. So we're not going to do anything that would damage our community. And we also have a pretty healthy bank balance, as I mentioned many times before. So to put an end to all speculation from everybody that is speculating, the operational reserve, co-founders token allocation, team token allocation, nobody is selling, and on dexes or sexes, all will be selling.
Really appreciate the transparency there. And just a note to that transparency, in the world of communications planning, which I've been working in for over 15 years, a week like this week with that type of speculation, we may have moved this space or not attended, but despite what's been said and the comments that have been made and the speculation, we're still here. Still, facing the community and answering the questions of the community, and we'll continue to do so. So appreciate the transparency. And again, just to reiterate that, we are always open for these conversations. We're always listening to the community. Moving on. So World Mobile Token recently announced a listing on Gate.io. How important are these listings to the token ecosystem, and how much of a focus are CEX listings currently for WMT?
It's a shame Zach is on an airplane back to Australia. Otherwise, he would be here to answer this. And typically, I don't really talk about tokens or listings, but I think it's very important for the community. We've paved the way for Cardano native tokens to be listed on exchanges. We were the ones that did KuCoin. We were the ones that did MEXC. We were the ones that supported all of these exchanges so far that work with Cardano native tokens to be able to. In fact, we paid for that as well. So how important is it? I think it's really important that tier one exchanges support Cardano native tokens, and currently they just simply don't. So Gate.io is just one of many that are coming. Zach will be able to give you information once that we can give that information, and once we don't have to abide by NDAs. And we're working for the wider community, and of course for ourselves, to get that liquidity and to get that sharing economy really spread out there so people are aware and people are able to actually buy. If you look at what's happening on the dexes on Cardano's, it's not particularly great. The liquidity compared to other ecosystems is very low. I'm sure it's going to grow, but currently it's a difficult situation for any Cardano native token in the space.
Okay, and the team were recently in Istanbul for Binance Blockchain Week. What can you tell us about the purpose of attending that event? Who did we see?
We saw El Boom, who's in this chat right now. We met with quite a few people. It was a great event. It was nice. We've bridged across to the BNB ecosystem. And of course, business development is business development. But I will allow Zach, when the time is right, to talk about why the different events across the different countries and continents that we've been attending. Ryan has been literally flying left, right, and center, as well as attending all the events in Dubai. And I've made it very clear. We want to be multi-chain, and we want to help and support the sharing economy by allowing everybody to be a participant in the sharing economy, not just maximalism on one chain or the other, but all chains. So going out to meet people, going out to do business development, going out to tell people about what we do and why we do it is very important.
100%. We're moving on to roadmap updates. Unfortunately, Antonio is not able to join us. But Micky, you'll be able to pick up some of the questions that I was going to pose to him. First one being, what is worldmobile.net? If anyone stumbled across that URL.
Worldmobile.net is the web counterpart to our mobile application. So you'll be able, through the DID extension, to share the same identity. So you're then able to enjoy the same services through the app or through a browser. So this is really important for emerging markets, and this is actually really important for privacy. But also, worldmobile.net will eventually host all of the dashboards, the marketplace, staking, value-added services, etc., etc.
Incredible. And one of the questions that the community have had for a long time typically gets posed to me on Telegram on what is Wednesday, but it's also called Wednesday, if you know what I'm trying to say. When iOS, this is one of those questions. So how is the iOS app development taking shape? I'm hearing it's out in the wild.
I've got
staging version.
I've got it. It's looking pretty damn good. And we're definitely catching up with the features that we've got and adding new features. It's now very close to going into the private testing phase, and we'll ask the community to help us, to a few members to come in and help us to test. And it's actually ahead of schedule. So extra features have been included that were not planned for this first release. Going good.
Exciting times for Apple fanboys and iPhone owners. One of the updates I saw yesterday on the roadmap report on World Mobile's X account was around scan for points. That's something that I'm incredibly excited about, as are many of the community. So what is the latest status on scan for points?
Scan for points, is very personal to me. I think this is going to create a lot of users to come onto the World Mobile network just because of the interest that they're earning from scanning. We need that data. That data costs us millions of dollars, if not tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. We are World Mobile. We're planning to enter into the entire globe eventually. So having these acute data points is really very important to us. First of all, global leaderboards. That's really important. Second, after that, there's a lot of gamification features that Zach, Antonio, and some gamification experts that we've brought in as consultants and defining and planning the next phases to have them as soon as possible. And we hope that maybe in the next couple of weeks or so, maybe a little bit longer, you'll be able to get the leaderboard and see all the scanning that you've done. You'll get the points that you've been scanning for.
A little bit of interference on my side there, but we are just sharing some screenshots of the features that you were talking about. You were talking about the leaderboard, talking about the mapping. Have a look on X if you have got your device to hand, which of course many of you will do, being on this space. It's great to see the hexes being represented there. Micky, how does it all work with scanning? Like, if a hex is scanned, can you go back and scan the same hex? Or, give us some insight into the operation of the points economy.
If you're sitting in, can you hear me well enough, Mike?
Yeah, you're back loud and clear.
Excellent. So if you're sitting in the same office every day scanning, you're clearly not going to get the maximum amount of points because we don't need you to be 365 days in an office scanning the same area. However, if you do scan the same area occasionally, or you pass the area, you'll still collect points because then we understand more about the data network of other providers in those areas to identify the cheese, the Swiss cheese, the holes in connectivity. But typically we're incentivizing people the most to actually go out there and to find new places and new places that haven't been scanned earn the most points, the most rewards.
Incredible. And how does the leaderboard work? Is it global?
It is global. The next phase will include regional leaderboards, and then you'll get levels, you'll have badges, and other super exciting features and rewards.
We've got to be giving away some Swiss cheese, right? Like packets of it, or
yes,
that on the on the plan.
Smelly.
Get Gruyere.
One question I've had a few times from ambassadors and other people in the community is, what exactly can we do with the points? So how does that work? Where do the points go? What can they be used for?
First of all, you'll be able to use them to buy more data. Second of all, any of the services in our marketplace, you'll be able to collect those points and then either receive a discount, or if you scan enough and you're driving around all day long, you'll be able to just buy outright, whether that's a Spotify voucher, a PlayStation voucher, access to the VPN, access to tickets, anything that's in our store, you'll be able to use those points against.
Incredible. And what are some of the social features and rewards currently in planning? You talked about the kind of gamification elements. Is there anything that you can share a little bit of light on?
Can't give you so much information. There'll be teams. You'll be able to team up with people and scan. There'll be local events, offline and online, organized. And we're making this a real movement because we think that a lot of people, this is their gateway. This is the bit that gets them into World Mobile. So as collaborative as possible.
Exciting times. I can't wait to get involved myself. This question was for Antonio, but what is the latest status on ITN?
Team are working super hard. They don't stop working. Torben especially, Juan Alonso especially, they're putting in the extra hours, 12-hour, 15-hour days to get us to where we need to be. The last that I saw, there is a slight delay, but Antonio will be able to talk about that on the next ENO call update, which I think is scheduled for next week. No huge delay, but of course, working with tech, there's always potential for some things to be delayed, but we'll be very open and transparent about the delays so that no one has any surprises.
So ENO call, I spoke to Antonio yesterday about this. We're looking at next Tuesday. Just need to finalize the time, but it'll be around the usual slot, afternoon time, UTC, Central European time. And one of the additional updates on the roadmap report yesterday was talking about eSIMs. And I know there's been a lot of speculation recently about eSIMs. I jumped into a conversation that was taking place on Telegram where someone had misunderstood the current product set and actually compared the prices of the World Mobile global eSIM against some of our competitor products, which were aimed at single markets. I referenced then that single market, local market eSIMs were in the works, and I'm delighted to say that we are very close to releasing those. So again, if you want to head over to our X account, you'll see a screenshot showcasing just some of the markets that we've been working on. We've got the UK on there, US, Canada, France, Spain, Turkey, and we are working on more markets all the time. So that's going to be a very exciting update for World Mobile eSIM. So looking forward to see those come to market, and for all of our community members to get to benefit from cheap and seamless data. Moving on to deployment. So we recently hit the milestone of 1,000 air nodes installed globally, and we're just getting started. End of the year, but we're just getting started. What is the next big target?
Andy?
What, 10,000 is the next one. And then after that, and after that, and after that. So I think it's really important to celebrate the 1,000. It's taken a long time to get all the processes and everything ready for scale. And I think the next couple of years are going to be mind-blowing for milestones on air node deployment.
And you mentioned that about the pace of deployment and scale. And I think one thing that has been surprising to many people in the community and those watching on has been the pace of deployment in Pakistan. Was that a surprise to us, or is that something that we expected?
No surprise at all. I mean, we were working on that behind the scenes for a very long time to make sure that it was going to scale as quickly as it is. And the market environment lends itself very well to the world mobile model. So yeah, nothing surprising there.
When we talked about fine-tuning the sharing economy, this is kind of what we really meant, so that other people could take the sharing economy into their own hands. No world mobile staff, no world mobile trucks, no world mobile OPEX or CAPEX. So we know with OPAM V2, which we'll discuss later, it is super exciting what's happening in Pakistan, but we would have felt anything this would have been a failure, and we did expect it to be a big success after all the work that we put in.
Incredible. And one of the biggest impacts, most visible impacts, has been the frequency of the buybacks and the volume of the buybacks. That's increasing in line with network expansion. So am I right to believe that, will this continue to track network expansion, or will there be any factors that may limit this growth in the future?
Yeah, broadly speaking, buybacks will mirror the network and user growth. There are a couple of factors like backhaul and deployment costs that will impact the percentages of buybacks. You can't make assumptions, but in general, yeah, as the network grows, the buybacks also grow. Super exciting.
I think we just hit all-time high as well on the buyback this last week. Is that right, Mike?
That's correct.
And on usage on the network and on customers on the network. So there is definitely a correlation, but like Andy says, don't make any assumptions. But as we have more buybacks, as we have the network grow, we'll be able to start to look at parameters that make sense. But right now, we're very happy that it's growing every week.
With Pakistan being, such a huge fuel over the past few weeks in terms of the growth trajectory, what does the future look like for Pakistan?
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. We have an amazing partner. We have very long-term plans to grow that market in a big way. And one of the interesting lagging results of that is that the interest we've acquired from other ISPs in other regions and countries since we've launched this has been crazy. So actually what we're looking to do is figure out the best way to execute all these opportunities just without losing the focus on what we need to get done now, a la Arena.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Andy, as well, it's not just interest in the emerging markets, it's also interest in the USA and the UK. Lots of people have started to look and think, hold on, we can actually become not just a single play where we're providing internet to the home, but we can also become a two play where we can have cell service for our existing customers when they leave the home. So it's definitely something that we've worked on for a long time, and it's definitely something that could actually lead to part of our explosive growth. Very happy with it.
Pakistan's, it's an incredible story, and it's so exciting what's happening there. But not to forget about Zanzibar. What's happening in Zanzibar? It's still air nodes are being put down. Growth is continuing. What's the latest on the ground there?
Yeah, getting a bit nostalgic thinking about Zanzibar. So Zanzibar, it's continuing to grow at a steady pace. We're starting to introduce some cool new features. For example, public Wi-Fi services for hotels. So if they need or want for their guests to pay for like a premium internet service because they can't afford to offer it in their rates, they'll be able to do that through the app or a captive portal, co-branded with a hotel. What's really interesting is this increases the ARPU and generates more income for the host. Because imagine if you're going to pay $5 for premium Wi-Fi for a week or 2 week holiday, that adds up to a lot. And if you think there's over 1,300 hotels and just so many tourists going to the island every year, it's highlighted quite a unique opportunity in the region, which nobody's really implemented yet. In addition to that, we're looking to open up OPAN in Zanzibar. So the goal is to do exactly the same as we're doing everywhere else, open up the remote operators, increase the coverage, and then we're going to begin with SIM and eSIM distribution for local users and for the tourists as well. And that's really interesting because we're developing a Wi-Fi offloading product as well. So that means that our roaming partners who are interconnected with us can actually offload onto the Wi-Fi network in Zanzibar, which generates even more revenue for the network and the operators and the hosts. And the last bit, as I'd just say, the fact that we've got such a dominant network in Zanzibar, it's really an impressive network. It's such a great head start for us, and it's going to showcase a really interesting opportunity in this market.
Exciting times in Zanzibar as well. And what else is happening across Africa, outside of Mozambique, that is? I think people forget, just how many markets we're active in at the moment.
Yeah, we've got a heck of a lot of interest, huh? It's actually, we have to make sure we don't scatter ourselves too thin. But yeah, off the back of the work we've done in Mozambique with Aerostat, we've had regulators in neighboring countries, global players coming to us and asking us questions. They're super excited about the data sets we're capturing in Mozambique. They just want to know more. They're just thirsty for information and how the solution can help them fix their rural connectivity problems. We've got a couple of other discussions in the pipeline. We can't share the details. Anything commercial we can't share, unfortunately, until the deals are signed. But essentially, we are working on some opportunities where we can acquire access to infrastructure and spectrum share in certain territories, as well as doing like we've done in Pakistan, where we work entirely through a local partner. So yeah, I can't emphasize enough, like the important thing is we've got to focus on what we need to deliver now, and that is our immediate, that's what we're focusing our attention on. And I'll add, don't forget about places like Nigeria. One of our nodes is pulling 1 terabyte every month, and there's so much scope for growth. We just got to finish preparing everything properly, and then we'll be ready to blow up.
Exciting times. And one of our recent announcements was celebrating MAV 100 joining the World Mobile Partner Program. MAV is listening, and I'm sure we'll speak later on. But yeah, tell us more about the World Mobile Partner Program.
Well, I think it's best left to Mav to explain what he's doing. I mean, from my perspective, they've made their first order. What they're doing is really, really cool. They've basically created their own initiative to kickstart the sharing economy in Washington State. They're working with loads of stakeholders, and they've got really big plans. So I think, best for them to share their vision and how they're going to support World Mobile's mission.
Okay, look forward to getting the guys up in the AMA. So going back to Africa, Mozambique. So what's the latest on the ground in Mozambique?
Mozambique is pumping. The regulator has been to visit. They're very happy with our deployment. I would say ecstatic. They've been very, very supportive. We've been fine-tuning the radio equipment and some of the Aerostat features to increase range when we're capturing all these data sets. Gregory has been using it as his sole connectivity method. We're really impressed by the theory that we then put into practice in the United States, and then we've taken that from the United States, New Hampshire, and actually delivered that on the ground. And there's going to be exciting news coming out of Mozambique pretty soon.
Exciting times. And been going through a lot of the footage for our BTS live event, and one of the things referenced in that is that the first phone calls and how how emotional that moment was in a number of different ways. So how have those first phone calls been conducted, and how they're going?
Loads of range tests, loads of drive tests. Quality is as good as anybody else, if not better. And we're super happy. We're super happy with what we're seeing out there. And again, like Andy said, the ISP in Pakistan, it's the same. People are starting to see, we're starting to call up different companies that we've been talking about this for 2-3 years and saying to them, hey, we're calling you from the Aerostat, or we're having this video call from the Aerostat. And we've had many Teams calls where Gregory does the twice weekly or 3 weekly update to us. And, you know, he's using that from the Aerostat. So magical moment, not too much magic, a lot of science, but it feels like magic. Being able to be connected from 300 meters up and being able to drive 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers away and still have that range is really fantastic.
Yeah, I asked the question like I don't know, and I have been speaking to Gregory while he's been in Mozambique, while he's been using the Aerostat connection, and it's actually been better than your connection tonight, Micky. So I've had first-hand experience of how good things are. Okay, so are we any closer to naming our telecoms partner?
The name will remain embargoed because this is a commercial discussion. All I can say is that partner is really big. So, you know, the community are really good at doing their research, and probably they'll hear it first from the partner, and then second from us. But this is telecoms, and except from World Mobile, telecoms is traditionally a very slow business. You know, we come in and we're shaking things up, but expect it. Don't expect it too soon, but don't expect it too late either.
Okay, and you touched a little bit on the ICM visit. That was a really big moment, wasn't it? Can you tell us any more about what happened with that?
Huge. I mean, it's sent shockwaves around to all the regulators who either never believed that this could happen or weren't sure that this would happen, and the ones that actually said, okay, you know, we're watching this from the sidelines and we're going to enter once it does happen. This has been the best experience of a regulator that I've ever seen. And we know we have Charles Njoroge on our team. He was the East African community regulator for 5 different countries, the Director General of Kenya. And he's also super impressed. But of course, it's exciting, right? The regulator's job is to connect the unconnected, is to serve the underserved. And all of a sudden, there's a solution to do that looks viable. So we didn't expect anything less. There was obviously the hiccup in Zanzibar, but I'm pretty sure Zanzibar is now thinking again about their decisions and their choices, and the regulator here has made it much easier for everybody to see that the potential of what this can do.
Awesome. And if you head over to the World Mobile X account, you'll see a snapshot of that visit. Gregory Gottlieb in full flow, showcasing some of the technology and data sets to the ICM during their visit. What's the impact been then of the Aerostat launch? You said it's kind of sent shockwaves through the industry. How's it impacting our rollout strategy?
It sparked all types of conversations, almost too many that we can't handle right now. And we're trying to keep focus, as you know, on everything that we're doing across the 7 countries that we're working in at the moment. Operators, stakeholders, investors, nation states, sovereign wealth funds, they're all looking at what we're doing and have all reached out. They've seen the press, they saw everything that we've been building up to for the last year and a half, and now it's very real for them. Previously, we were testing in New Hampshire and in other places with other Aerostat providers, but now this is actually using commercial spectrum. So I think that the impact is not only the attention that we're getting, but also we've learned a lot, even more than I thought we'd learn after the USA. And that, of course, allows us to roll into other countries with processes that we may not have needed in the United States of America. Now we've proven that the Aerostats can provide the range that we expected. We're going to be able to roll out Aerostats extremely efficiently, even in the hardest locations, the roughest environments, over the next few years.
Incredible time. So I guess talking about Mozambique, big question on the community's lips is when is Mozambique BTS, bringing telecoms to the skies and also behind the scenes. I'm excited to share that the date for that live event will be the 13th of December at 6 p.m. UTC. And I really, really cannot wait to share this moment with the community. So much work has gone into this, you know, logistics of filming out in Mozambique, you know, crew sent there to capture the content. We've had teams, the marketing team, creative team at World Mobile, pouring through, all of the footage that we've captured, pulling out all of the kind of little bits of gold from the launch itself, and snippets from what's been happening on the ground in Masinga. So very, very excited to share that. And if you are planning to attend, please let us know. The URL is bts.worldmobile.io. You can register. Let us know you're attending. It is open to everybody, but we're keen to get a steer on how many people are going to be attending. And also, we've got some surprises for people that do sign up. There may well be some exclusive merch that I might actually be wearing right now, and unfortunately you can't see. But we will definitely be giving some of that away to people that have signed up to the event. So I'm really looking forward to that one, and I think it's going to be a really fitting way to see out the year of 2023. And Rick, if you're listening and the song is ready to go, we might actually get you up for a live performance. So I'll message you about that after Spaces. Okay, so last time out, we released the public beta of Operation Airnode, of the Airnode sales platform. Now, the purpose of that public beta was quite specific. We were really keen to get an understanding of how the community felt about the platform. We were introducing, a number of new concepts, everything from World Mobile Spectrum to Portal Airnodes, Titan Airnodes, Reno. There was a lot of information to drop in a single go, and it was actually fantastic to go through that process. We ran the community survey. We got lots and lots of feedback, and those resulting learnings have been incredibly valuable to the marketing team and the dev team, and we've taken all of those away. And I mean, it's safe to say we've completely rebuilt the platform. The core interactive map is obviously still the main focus of the platform for Airnode operators. But what became really clear when going through the feedback was just how important remote Airnode operation was going to be to members of the community. So with that in mind, we were going to open the whitelist prior to remote Airnode operation being ready, but we decided to push forward. And it's very, very exciting to see where we're at today. So, Micky, Opan V2, what are the latest updates from your side?
We've got a bunch of hosts on the ground ready to host equipment from remote Airnode operators. The team have been working relentlessly to actually get everything working out there. But also for the future, for the ICM sales to get subscribers on, for the international wholesale traffic that will come in, for the national wholesale traffic that will eventually come into the network as well. So we've definitely broken ground, and Reno is looking hot.
Exciting. And what do I need to do to be a remote Airnode operator?
You need to sign up to the website. You need to negotiate and speak with a host that's already on the website. And you need to provide the CapEx, buy your node, put it up, and start becoming your own telecom operator. True sharing economy.
So just so that's clear, it's probably better if I give an overview actually of kind of what the platform will look like and how the interactions work. So completely new landing page. So the landing page that you currently see on the public beta is no more. A little bit more like World Mobile IO, a bit more of problem definition and outlining the solution that we're putting forward. But the call to actions are effectively rooted into the three roles of participation, the three main roles of Airnode operator, remote Airnode operator, and Airnode host. So if you click on Airnode operator, you effectively go down a very similar route to what is already present on the public beta. So you see the interactive map, you select your hex, you go through to purchasing an Airnode. Of course, you need that whitelist code. So if you've still not got that whitelist code, still not on the whitelist, make sure you have signed up. And once you've got that, you go through to checkout, purchase the Airnode. Remote Airnode operators, however, it's slightly different. So you'll go through, And rather than going straight through to the interactive map, we now have a new section of the platform, which is effectively, it's a host browser. What that allows you to do is to browse verified and active hosts that we have on the platform. So they will be, of course, aligned with a hex in Reno. And you will also see a recommendation on the AirNode package that is most viable at the hex location of that host. You'll register as a remote AirNode operator. You'll log in, and then the way that the dashboard functions, you basically connect to a host, and it's effectively like a messaging platform, similar to kind of what you'd encounter on Airbnb, something similar to that. So if you head over to our X account, you will actually see some screenshots being shared now, which give you an insight into what that looks like. So you'll be able to message a host, make an agreement with that host, and only once you've had that agreement made, negotiated, signed and agreed, you can then go through to purchase your AirNode package and move into the deployment phase. And for an AirNode host, if you are keen on becoming a host, your route to platform is going through a filter stage, so answering a few questions, sharing photos of the location. You need to get verified and accredited by Well Mobile. And then once you have been accredited, the profile gets published onto the host browser. And of course, you can then receive messages from prospective remote AirNode operators. So it is looking incredibly exciting. I've been playing around with it today. The screenshots are on our X account, so please make sure that you head over and have a look and get a first look of what it's looking like. But just to build on that, from what I hear and from what I see, ground has already been broken in Reno. Is that correct?
We have some AirNodes up, correct. Some hosts are already hosting some AirNodes, and they're already up. And I think you're going to share some pictures of that pretty soon, Mike.
Yeah. So again, if you're on the X account, you will see an update very shortly. Showcasing a Portal AirNode package being deployed in Reno, and it's a huge moment for the World Mobile Network. And the man himself is actually in attendance. I feel like we should get Christian up here. So
We definitely should get Christian up.
Christian, you request to speak. We'll get you up. But while we wait for Christian, Micky, how many sites do we have at the moment? Or should we wait for Christian and ask that question to him?
I think we're into the 70, 80 sites, but Charles, Barnett, Emmanuel, Christian, James, Will, Gareth, they're all working on partnerships and deals with either private people, people who own their houses, or wider deals, potentially with ISPs. So exciting. Very exciting.
Incredible. And how many AirNodes are down at the moment then? Oh, here he is. There he is. I'll ask the man himself, Christian.
Hi.
What's up, Christian?
Can you guys hear me all right?
Hear you loud and clear.
Excellent.
Introduce yourself, Christian. Who are you?
My name's Christian Reese. I'm the Nevada Regional Manager here in Nevada. I'm based in Reno, Tahoe. So taking on the Reno and Tahoe Sparks area initiative on getting our AirNodes deployed and all of the general admin and paperwork. It's been quite fun. I've been with the team for about 2 months now.
We actually met, didn't we, at NFTLV?
We did, yes, yeah.
The stars were aligned.
They were, yes. I was keen on the licensed spectrum deployment and acquisition in Nevada, and I was already living here in Reno, and so the stars definitely did align.
Yeah, and you've been smashing it. You've been working super hard. We very much appreciate, and I think it's a wonderful moment for all of us. And in the USA, it's a very strong moment for us as well, mobile. So how's it going? Can you give everyone the daily on what you do most days?
Yeah, so each day typically we're tasked with site acquisition, so sourcing commercial and residential properties here in the area, and then securing deals with them to host AirNode infrastructure, getting the community kind of excited around that effort, as well as speaking with the local administration and getting kind of our city and leaders on board and let them know what we're about and what we're looking to do. So it's been quite a good checklist, but we're checking them off and we're having a lot of fun in the process.
And how's the World Mobile HQ in Reno?
Excellent. We have a great space here, and we've got some heavy pallets coming in frequently with lots of components. So it's been very fun to source and get those in, breaking down pallets and getting eyes on equipment. On the site earlier, we're currently sitting around access to 60 sites in Reno, and we have a handful of CBRS units currently live. We're actually picking up some components. I'm here with Will, our quantum engineer, picking up some components to head to a site to do some troubleshooting to make sure everything's good. And then from there, we'll connect to our handsets over eSIM and do all the associated testing and speed tests as well.
And you've also got a Titan up as well, or a couple of Titans up, I think, which is the Band 71 nodes, right?
Correct. Yep. We have a Titan test site in downtown Reno. So that's giving us quite a good reach. So we're able to drive around town and do testing with CPEs and with the Titan on the unit, as well as there is a CBRS unit that is live there as well.
Preparing for the big launch. Well done, Christian. Thank you very much for your hard work. I know you guys are in the generator until late most evenings. And I know Charles is about to leave for a couple of days or a week or so and then come back. Keep it strong, hold the fort, and looking forward to going live with Opan V2.
Yes, we're very, very much looking forward to it. Generator's a great place. If anyone else isn't familiar, a lot of the Burning Man artists from all over the world come to the space to lease out square footage and build all sorts of crazy contraptions and statues. So we're in a great little creative space with tons of creative minds, and we get to watch people make 50-foot statues all day. So it's tons of fun.
And just a reminder, Burning Man has terrible connectivity, and What Mobile owns the spectrum that can support connectivity in Burning Man, at Burning Man. So luckily we didn't do it this year, because otherwise the rain would have been very difficult. But I think next year we'll be looking to do something quite spectacular there. It's a spoiler. Sorry, Mike.
Sign me up. I'll happily do some reconnaissance. We shared a lot of content this evening, but we've got so much more over the next couple of weeks to share from Reno, and show you the space at the generator, introduce you to Christian on video, and we're already planning a deployment diaries episode similar to what you've been seeing from Zanzibar, but in the US, and seeing what's happening out on the frontier in Nevada. So very, very excited for that in the future as well. Micky, what does the roadmap look like then in regards to different types of air node in the future? We've mentioned portals, we've mentioned Titans. What else is in the mix?
Everything. Air nodes from, as I've spoken before, in Pakistan, an air node can be as cheap as $100 potentially, and we'll be selling those in batches. Zanzibar, $500, $700. Backhaul nodes in Zanzibar, maybe $2,000, $1,500. There'll be smaller CBRS units to fill in the holes, ranging from anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000, and then you'll go up to the portal, which is around $9,500 with all the kit included. And then there's a Titan Lite that will be coming out. There's the Titan, and of course there's the big boy for anybody that wants one, which is the Aerostats. The future is going to cater for everybody to be able to participate who wants to participate in the sharing economy, and that's how we're going to spread signal to the rest of the world. USA is a major focus for us right now, but once we've got the first few places down in the USA and Opan V2, probably V3 is live, and we've learned everything that we need to learn, boom, we open up to everywhere.
Awesome. So just to remind everyone, batch 1 will be 50 air nodes. Early access for whitelist registrants. So if you've not already signed up, please do. the time is coming for that whitelist code to be activated. And one thing I'm really excited to share as well is that we're working at the moment to really consider our kind of post-purchase approach, and those first 50 air nodes we'll have a group of founders, effectively the founders of the first 50 assigned to the purchases of those air nodes, which will include a number of different benefits, things like discounts on future purchases, exclusive merch, all the usual good stuff. So excited to share more details of that over the coming weeks as well. That brings us to the end of our agenda for this evening, but of course we're not finished just yet. What we'll do now, we'll open the floor to an AMA. You've listened to us for quite some time, over an hour now, and we'll see where we get to with questions. We have got some questions that people have asked prior to the spaces, but let's just open the floor, get some of the community up. We could start with Mab, actually. I can see you here. It would be great to hear what's been going on in Washington. The Christmas festival is starting this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
I was on an airplane. I don't remember to where because I travel a lot, but I was on an airplane about a week ago with a gentleman who lived in Washington. I told him, "Oh, do you know about the Christmas fair?" He was like, "Yeah, I go there every year with my family." I was like, "Is it true that the signal there is terrible?" He said, "The signal there is terrible. What do you do?" And I was wearing my World Mobile shirt. I said, "This is what we do." And he was like, "Okay, I've got properties there. Can you put me in touch with Mav?" I said, "Yeah, sure."
Roger that. Yeah, no, we're getting cooking right now. I just talked to a couple more places, getting backhaul arranged, dedicated backhaul for the air nodes that we're going to be popping up here not too long. We've been working for about a year and a half, working with the community, discussing things with different parts of the administration, school administrators, with the mayor and county commissioners, and just feeling out what the community thought about the whole idea, and everybody is just blown away with the possibilities that this opportunity grants to communities. And so we've got our community cooperative set up, and the strategy that we kind of came at it with was, if everybody is kind of involved, we don't have to be another just big guy that owns this, telecommunications network. If everybody owns this, then everybody has an incentive to adopt it and bring other people in as well. And so it's been going really well. We've got the locations all set up, and we're known as the Evergreen State. And so we have this natural landscape full of cell phone towers that grow taller every year for us, called pine trees. We actually have the ability to install a few of these in some really advantageous places, and then the kids, they're ready to rock. They'll be out, and I hope the Girl Scouts of America don't come and sue us or anything for stealing their idea, but the kids are going to be out selling eSIMs during the festival. I don't know how many people pack their way through during Christmas lighting, but it's probably over 7 digits. We get about 7 million people, 2.5 million people a year that pack through this town, and from different places, from Vancouver up in Canada, the Seattle Metroplex, and down from Portland, and a lot of international traffic from India and Southeast Asia. And so it'll be a lot of fun to see what they think about World Mobile.
You're smashing it. Keep it up. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
You're our first partner in the partner program. We have a lot more, some of who are listening actually in this call, and they know who they are. But you're the first one, and we are looking forward to growing the sharing economy, just like we have in Pakistan, and setting the example in Washington. And then I think you've even got plans for outside of Washington in the future. So looking forward to it. Anything we can do to support you, please let us know, and let's get everyone connected.
Absolutely. All right, back to work. I'm going to go climb a ladder. Have a good one, guys.
Say hi to your team out there. Thanks.
Thanks, Mav.
Happening in front of our very ears right now. That is super cool, no, Mike?
Totally.
And actually, I'm going to ask a question. I never ask questions. So, Mike, what's it like being the head of marketing for this and seeing it grow since you started until now? And what are you preparing for?
It's a pleasure and an honor. It's not often that you get to steer the public-facing ship of, it's not just a project, it's not just a business, it's not just a community. It really is a movement. And there's been a number of moments, I would say, over the past 12 months where I've really had to kind of take a step back and pinch myself and remind myself and the team that, what this means to so many different people, from the team to people in the community to, when I was in Zanzibar and saw the impact, the real world impact on the ground. It's, this is something different. It's something bigger than any of all of us. So it's, a pleasure and an honor to be able to have this opportunity. The last year, it's been incredible to see our growth, not just from a community size perspective. I think we've gone up by almost kind of 20,000 followers on X and grown in other channels as well. But just the acceleration of the movement and development. I mean, if you look back at all of the things that we've done as a business over the last 12 months, and we will do on, well, maybe not on BTS, but maybe after we'll recap just some of the major moments and milestones of 2023. Like, who else is doing this?
Nobody,
really,
and not at the pace that we are. And they always talk about the bromance between Torben and Antonio, which I used to be jealous about, but actually I'm happy because they're happy. But working with you, I think there's a bromance that's heating up between us as well. You've been amazing, man, and you're absolutely smashing it. And I look forward to what you're doing. And I know that you're recruiting, and I know that you're bringing in more people for all aspects of the marketing of the business to grow this sharing economy and to take it to the next level.
Yeah, that's correct. I think this time, we'll have to see. We'll have another couple of AMAs, but maybe not the usual community update. But we'll definitely have some new faces to say hello. In fact, I'm pretty certain a couple of them might be in attendance right now, and I don't want to embarrass anyone or get someone up to, before they're ready. But we have got some very passionate people joining the team who I'm excited to introduce to everybody. So,
thank you, Mike, for everything you do. You're a legend. Appreciate it. Let's smash it.
Thank you to the community. And I think we've got Ada Dolphin. Hands up. You're up.
I was just stretching. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, everybody, for having me on stage. Micky, number one, just a little bit of a lighthearted question. If I'm not in the OG testing program, there will be hell to pay. That's number one. But no, just a quick question for Josh. As far as the Minutes Network, is that on ETH? Is that on Ethereum?
So we are running on Ethereum. It is multi-chain, essentially. We have not deployed to multi-chain, but our technology is built with multi-chain in mind. So we're starting on Ethereum, but we'll be on all chains eventually.
Okay, and was that where you originally started because of the kind of ease of building? Is that why you chose Ethereum originally as opposed to Cardano?
Very political question there.
So, I mean, we're going to give more information in an up-and-coming AMA shortly, but it is an important question. And one of the main reasons we chose to go with Ethereum is because, when dealing with telecommunications and all of these traditional operators worldwide, liquidity is something very important. I don't know how much you've seen of the business model, but we're proposing buybacks, etc., and we want to make sure that there's sufficient liquidity balance within the market that we launch on to support the buybacks without failure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Can I fire another one?
Absolutely.
Okay. With your departure, I mean, I know it was unforeseen by many people within the community, and that's kind of why, Micky came out and explained a lot to us yesterday morning, when I had asked him to come out. So, Micky, thank you for that and being very kind of transparent and forward-facing, getting out there kind of ahead of this. But I had asked him, so I would just rather kind of get it from your mouth. Was this a planned departure? Was there a certain, let's say, benchmark hit within World Mobile that you said, hey, once we hit here, I'm going to do my own thing? Or was this time kind of set up in the beginning? Or was there an essential reason for it? Or just that Minutes was ready?
Yes, this was something that this has always been my dream. Okay, so I obviously made sure that my departure was at a point where, it wasn't critical to World Mobile. I mean, I've done everything I can, and I'm obviously still available for World Mobile, right? Like, should I be needed at any time, I'm a pin drop away. But this has always been my dream, and it's something that we set out to do. And we've had this technology in house. We've been testing and sort of toying with it for many, many years. We've been evolving it recently, and now we've put it in a nice Web3 toolkit, and it's really something exciting. So yes, the answer is yes.
And if you don't mind me adding to that, Josh and I have been working together for 20 years. Not only are we brothers and co-founders of many different things, including World Mobile, I've always been on the infrastructure side. I've always been interested and supporting and building infrastructure. Josh has always been on the business side of Minutes, but also the software side. So it's quite natural, and when it's a shame we had to say that Josh is leaving, because actually as a co-founder, Josh will never leave, right? He'll always be there to support us. We spend 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours a day on the phone to each other, working both of us until 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, waking up at 7 a.m., talking and discussing. We have a very close relationship, the three of us, with Antonio. We've been working with Antonio for a long time. But if World Mobile wasn't in the position where Josh could leave, he wouldn't have left. It's as simple as that. It's now in the position where we fine-tune that sharing economy, where most of the software is ready, and he's still there, right? He's still able to support us, and he's a legend. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, I'd asked you when you had came on if you guys had gotten a fight at Thanksgiving, but no. That being said, Josh, I appreciate all you've done for World Mobile up to this point, and the best of luck on your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and we appreciate what the community does for us as well. And we're really looking forward to the great future ahead.
And between us all and our communities, I think we can absolutely change the scope of what telecom is and set a new standard for telecommunications. And I'm looking forward to Minutes Network being able to provide for all of our subscribers. So carry on smashing it, Josh. Get it going.
Next up, I think we got Alex, original eSIM customer.
Alex, Yasu, Isagala.
Seen the new countries, and he's back.
Good afternoon, evening, good morning, wherever you guys are.
Good at everything. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you guys?
Good. Looking forward to eating some more one chip challenge with you. You took it like a man. Honestly, you were like your brother, not so much, but you took it like a man. But I've got to say, I did share the milk with your bro.
You did that,
but it was spicy, bro. You got to admit, it was like I saw the tear running down the side of your face.
It was in a bad way spicy, not in a good way. I didn't enjoy it.
It didn't have any good taste.
Yeah.
But also Clover, Cal, he took it like a man. I think he had the biggest piece.
And he took it. Yes, he took it like a man, but he also took the milk like a man, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. I have only one question, and then maybe I don't see Antonio. Maybe he's very busy.
Antonio is has come down with something.
Okay.
So he's not feeling, probably COVID, but we need him to rest because he's got ITN to finish.
ITN, yeah, that was my question. I know probably 200 people have the same question. Are we looking for December?
We're slightly delayed at the beginning of the call that I said.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't
I don't want to
there.
say. No problem. We're slightly delayed, but not a heavy delay. Antonio will be able to update more next week on the E&O call whenever that is set.
Okay, perfect. Because so if that's next week, I will ask him at the time. I'm really glad that you guys are spreading your wings and we multiply basically the World Mobile's last minutes network, because I'm pretty sure these two will go hand in hand. So I'm really glad for your endeavors, Josh, and I hope in the next conference I will meet you as well, because it's a shame that Micky knows all my family and I don't know all of his. I know most.
He'll be another brother to you. Josh is, as I said, is a legend, and he can also handle the spikes. So we're good.
There you go. I need more challengers. Fantastic.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words, and look forward to eating some chilies.
Guys, keep pushing, stay strong, and my beast is waiting for ITN and mainnet.
Thank you very much, Alex. Speak to you soon. See you soon.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we've got intellectual honesty. How's it going?
Yeah, going well. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me up. Although I've got a little critique of Micky, because, you know, he's a Liverpool fan and he's arranging all these community calls during our games nowadays. It's like, shock.
And what's the score?
It's called 3-0 right now. It's you know, we're on Thursday nights right nowadays.
Has Darwin scored?
No, he's just come on. You know, they've taken Salah off, you know, done the business, and so Darwin's coming on for a bit of chaos at the end.
Nice.
Mike's also a Liverpool fan as well.
Yeah, I was going to.
So we're sacrificing the
I was
game.
going to say, what was Josh? What was he?
Oh, 100% Liverpool. How can he not be?
Okay, all right. Well, then we can wish him the best in the mid. Although, yeah, and one thing I was going to ask with that is, you know, you're not planning to take any of our sort of amazing stuff from World Mobile with you, are you, Josh?
No, we're not taking any stuff from World Mobile. Everything is as is, right? But yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan, so pleasure to meet you.
Good man. No, so I think just one thing, it was more of a suggestion, a statement, because obviously this week, you know, or even the last few days, there's been a lot of, how you say, FUD. And I can't imagine what it must be like for you, Micky, trying to actually, you know, run a business and then having to deal with, like, kind of nonsense on Twitter. But I guess it's fair.
It's part of it. Look, there's a big wallet out there that has been selling. It looks like an arbitrage bot. We know nothing about it at all. The community are panicking because there was sell pressure. I came out with statements to say we don't know who this is. This is the transparency that we have. Some accounts look like they've been enjoying the engagement that has come from this, and it's just it's part of the job, right? So people are going to speculate, but we're here to fill in all the holes so that people don't have to speculate. And since day one, we've been transparent. And until the last day that I breathe, I will be transparent. And that's the most important thing, because we want to grow the biggest community that's ever existed, the biggest sharing economy that's ever existed in one of the biggest, if not the biggest, commodities that exists. So I'm not going to get that by not being transparent. But I've been out there. Some of the things that I've said, but to the people that are engaging, they haven't really listened to. But what's more clear to me is that some of those accounts don't even understand what's happening. They're just jumping onto it and writing stuff, and people are putting comments at the bottom of it. Some fighting for the community, and it's lovely to see that. But I'm very much a non-confrontational guy unless I need to be. I just come out with the facts. And whoever wants to read into those facts, they'll see. And all the on-chain data is
yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to say. It's like, ultimately, you know, we as a World Mobile community, we've got to understand that, you know, as we grow, there's going to be more FUD. You know, the more successful you are, the more haters, or the more, you know, the disbelief that, something must be awry here. And, you know, we've got to, I guess, I'd say fight it with kindness sometimes, because ultimately we don't want to become people saying it was cold.
Definitely not. If people have questions that they can't answer or they can't get answers for, we're here to always fix that and always talk. And again, I don't make excuses, but I've been down with COVID, the worst illness that I think I've ever had in my life. I'm still here speaking to you guys at 10:30. Yesterday, I was speaking with Dolphin. He jumped in. I was writing the tweets. I'm dealing with the teams. I'm running the company. There is no rest. There is until we achieve what we need to achieve. And whoever wants to read something different into it and speculate, okay, no problem, do so. We carry on. I have the time to answer everybody, but I don't have the time particularly to yeah, what's the point? I've got a network to build. I've got an amazing team behind me. I'm the leader of this team. I've got to make sure that we do our job for us, for the community, and for the people that are not connected or underserved, and grow this mobile network to be the best, the biggest, and the strongest it can possibly be, and to challenge the existing legacy and mobile network operators and show them there's a different way, and make sure that they understand this. So I don't have time for arguments, but I do have time to explain everything that anybody has any doubts. And my inbox is open, and loads of people have messaged me on Twitter, and I think I've got back to them, the majority of the people. If it's nonsense, like there's a few guys out there, World Mobile's never going to make money providing free Wi-Fi. The free Wi-Fi stopped years ago. We're providing revenue. We're running 51,000 customers. We have more customers to release very soon. The sharing economy is growing. If you look at how many nodes were down a year ago compared to how many nodes are down now, the sharing economy in Zanzibar is totally self-sufficient. In Pakistan, totally self-sufficient. Again, I have time for everybody, but if it's nonsense, it's nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it, Micky. And I'll just say last thing is I'm holding you to that Fulham-Liverpool game. And
we're going to do it.
Awesome. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Next up, we have Soundrig. Soundrig, how's it going? I think you're up as a speaker.
Hello, I'm sorry, there was a slight disconnect.
Hey.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Good evening.
I'm calling from Poland, and probably wouldn't expect that from my accent, but good evening, Mick. Nice to hear from you again, Kev, and everyone else. My question is actually related to an issue that we're having right now. Our company, Soundrig, is also a social impact enterprise, and we have gone into the heart of a community in Kenya, in Kakuma refugee camp, and we are trying to get them, a studio so that they can become self-sustaining and autonomous, right? And so that's the plan.
As musicians, as artists,
as music artists. Sorry, I should say that.
Very
We're a
cool.
music platform built on Cardano, and we build music experiences, and we're focusing on the part of the world, which is everyone, that the traditional music industry does not, because they will go for the stars and the people that are going to make the money. But there's millions of people out there that are not being served, and they're being underserved.
Very close to my heart. Really, honestly, we can't even hear their music, right?
Absolutely,
we can't hear their art or their culture. It's look, business is the biggest driver behind World Mobile because it's a $1 trillion industry, the telecom market, and there's something we feel that we can tap into and take a huge share and bring it back to the people. But if you ask me what drives me after the business, it's half the world can't speak to the other, half the world can't show their arts. So I'll definitely look more into you guys, and it's awesome that you're doing such a thing. So I'm guessing you need some help with connectivity.
Kind of, but the question is not related to that. And please forgive me if I've missed it and you guys are doing this. But we were having trouble with off-ramping, right? Because these artists from Kakuma refugee camp, if they made sales on our platform for their music, is almost impossible to get an off-ramp, right? So, but they do have M-Pesa. So M-Pesa is a conglomerate, I believe. It's a relatively new one, but they're not, decentralized. They're not doing what you guys are doing, and they don't have that vision. They're purely profit, right? So we have a partner now called Endubis Wallet. Check them out. They're some very smart guys from Ethiopia, and they've managed to get a Cardano wallet hosted on Telegram. It's very smart. So that, say, for the artists that we're supporting right now, in Nairobi because they're there making music and we sponsor that. But when they sell the music, now they can get that ADA into their Telegram, and then from there send it to M-Pesa, right? So they can actually spend the money and put food on the table and do what they want to do. My question would be, do you guys have any plans to make a competitor to M-Pesa and start doing mobile payments? Because that is a huge market, and I think if you guys did that also, you know what, the sky is not the limit, it's the fucking stratosphere. So sorry for my swearing, but I really believe that you guys can do
No
it.
problem. M-Pesa is probably one of the best examples of fintech that's ever existed. It's a huge industry that makes billions of dollars. Do we have plans to compete? Definitely not. Anyone would be crazy to try and compete against M-Pesa in this current climate. The future, who knows? But it's not part of our formal mandate or agenda. But we have had discussions. You can reach out to Andy Soper informally, just as a community member, not as World Mobile. And maybe he can discuss a few things with you because he was actually raised in Kenya along with his brother Nick Soper as well. And they're very connected over there. And we have some good teams. Anything we can do to help that's within our remit, we're very happy to help. Just reach out to Andy.
Thank you so much for that, Mick. I actually had a very interesting conversation with Colin and Kevin today. These guys are amazing what they're doing. Geniuses in their own right. And I believe that we have something to work with them anyway. So I think that on the peripheral, we're going to be part of the family at some point. I do feel it because the synergy is so strong. And I think because we're all working towards the same thing, it makes sense, right? We've actually got a program called Project Simba. Now, Simba is obviously the name of the cartoon lion, but it actually means lion, but it also means strength. So I'm thinking strength in numbers, right? To make impact, you can't do it all alone, but if you all get your energy together and put it in and focus it on one area, then you're going to change the world. So Simba stands for Social Impact Through Business Alliances. And our first project is by taking these guys from Kakuma refugee camp. We've taken them to Nairobi. They're now making music in a studio. Tomorrow they're performing in front of the whole university, student body, local dignitaries and all that. And then we're going to make, well, I'll wait until we actually show it. I don't want to say too much, but we're going to release their music.
Sounds very cool. Keep up the good work.
Amazing. Thank you so much for looking me up. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we got Mav 100 back again.
Did the thing raise my hand? I'm sorry. I'm up on top of a ladder. It must have done it in my pocket. I apologize, everybody.
Be safe and
safety first.
These things happen. Okay. While we wait, we got another speaker, another request. Let's have a look. While we wait, there were some questions that we did get before the space. Let me just run through those. So it has been mentioned that the main focus is the rollout in the US. If someone or a group wanted to pursue a rollout in a different country similar to Pakistan, if location, sites, and the number of air nodes are known, what are the necessary fundamentals and steps that would be required for World Mobile support? Would World Mobile be able to provide air nodes, or would that be needed to be sourced separately? That came from Cardano Yogi.
Repeat to me, please, Mike.
So in essence, the question is asking if somebody wants to start up their own network, I guess similar to how WorldCall have utilized World Mobile's network to increase their offering. If somebody else wanted to do that in a different country, how would they go about it?
We're absolutely open to that. They need to reach out to Andy and Magnus on our team. Tell us the opportunity. They need to be qualified, of course, because we're not looking to. We're only looking for success here. and they could adopt the sharing economy. Of course, it's not just as easy as that. We need licenses in each country. We need to understand which spectrum they have access to, or if it's just Wi-Fi, or if it's just a backhaul spectrum. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. It's not a quick thing, but we're definitely open to anybody that would like to bring a new country online, especially if they have the ability to be able to roll that out and add those nodes, those subscribers into the world mobile sharing economy.
Yeah, I mean, the core for both Wi-Fi and cellular is a worldwide standard. So what we're building is something that you can, in principle, use everywhere in the world. But as we know, the world is quite different to, we're all quite different. There are lots of local things that you need to consider and look into, which we obviously can give you a list of.
Well said.
Okay, we've got Colin Smith. He's up as a speaker. Colin, how's it going?
Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
Why are you not up the ladder with your brother? What's going on?
Oh, well, see, so they're up there in Wenatchee and Leavenworth.
Balls off.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. No, they're up there. I'm stuck down here in Alabama, so I'm just doing all the background website and stuff like that. So basically, I wanted to ask a little bit if Micky could expand on kind of the background stuff, because you guys at World Mobile have created this awesome opportunity to actually create a sharing economy. And now it's kind of our job to go out and build this sharing economy and do stuff. And like Josh has that project. I've been reading up on Minutes for a while, and it's teaching me kind of how the whole system works, but also, stuff like, how do you guys go about, and you can't speak about anything specific, but how do you guys get spectrum, for example, and create this space for us to work in?
We've got a team, a regulatory team, made up from a guy called Gareth. We have legal representatives in the United States and worldwide. We then build those business development relationships with Charles Barnett. And then we talk, we discuss. It's quite interesting because lots of people bought spectrum to speculate, but recently in the United States, use it or lose it. This is what's becoming more and more common. So they've set certain standards that you have to meet in order to be able to keep and maintain your spectrum. And a lot of these companies that bought to speculate, they have no way to deploy. They typically would have to go out and hire the team, hire the engineers, get the trucks to roll out, get the people, get the insurance, pay for the OPEX, pay for the CAPEX. But all of a sudden, World Mobile comes along and it's a dream come true for them. So we have very innovative ways that we don't particularly want to discuss because competitors that may be out there listening to what we're doing. But we're definitely leading the pack for this shared spectrum or leased and licensed spectrum. And we're targeting the whole of the United States of America, not just the 4 markets that we're in right now. And over the next 1-2 years, we expect to get that.
Oh, that's awesome. And I want to thank you guys again for this opportunity. This is really going to change how everything works in this country and really around the world.
We agree on a lot, and I also agree with this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And next up, we've got ENO 22.
Wow, that's a good number for an ENO.
Great profile picture as well. PFP. I like it. How's it going?
Hey, hi everyone. It's going good. So this is Abhinay here. I'm from Australia, Melbourne. And thanks for that picture, comment. So yeah, just a couple of questions from me. I've been hearing what you're saying, Mike, from this meeting. So just one question starting with OPAN. And before that, I think I'll ask about IP. So how are we protecting our IP and keeping our partners not becoming our competitors, mainly with Pakistan, who has experience like hosting an ISP?
Wow, it's a good question. Micky?
refer, refer it to Mr. T. The sharing economy is open to everybody, right? There's a certain parameters of nodes that can be placed in one area at one time. We'll never allow 10 nodes to be placed in one hex, unless, of course, there is 100,000 people or 50,000 people, the equivalent that's needed for that capacity. So I think it's open to everybody, but we're in the business of growing a sharing economy. So if an ISP comes to us or an individual like Mav comes to us and says we want 20 nodes over here, we're very happy to serve them. And as we go, we'll learn and we'll make sure that there is no competition in those areas that is not good competition.
Maybe James, do you want to add anything about the congestion on the network? So naturally, it doesn't really help to compete. So James can.
Well, you mean over time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's constant demand for additional capacity in the whole world. Actually, I mean, generally capacity is increasing 40% per year in America, but often faster outside the USA. And so what is a well-covered piece of network today may be a hole tomorrow because it's run out of capacity. So I think there's a constant job to keep filling things in. And then because of the fact that we have a whole range of different frequencies giving us the patchwork of coverage, then holes can appear in the network over time that were previously contiguous because they were contiguous for one of the low frequencies that has long range, but they weren't really contiguous for the high frequency. And then you get to a certain point and now there's basically a gap in the network. So there's been a constant job of filling these gaps and improving the network and giving more capacity that's required. And often those gaps are very tiny. My home has the 5 houses out here around me don't have coverage. It's very annoying. The only way you can economically fill that in is with something that's a community-based approach.
Well, thanks for that. And I just have one more from me before I think I pass on. So someone has been saying that we are trying to open the OPAN in Zanzibar. And also later in the call, we were talking about hosts being available in Reno area. But what is stopping us to roll out to other markets that were already available in, like Pakistan? Are we looking to test and then scale, or is it something different?
Nobody's ever opened a sharing economy that works properly as of yet for telecommunications. So we're making sure that we, from our fine tuning in Zanzibar, in Pakistan, in the United States of America, that we get it right. And you see the OPAN V2 is also going to still be a beta. And then OPAN V3 probably will still be beta. And then OPAN V4 could go into non-beta and actually into full production, something that won't change. And it might even take up to V5. But in between that, we'll lay down nodes. We'll be learning lots, we'll be refining lots, and we'll be making sure that the process is exactly how we want it to be before we open up for all the worlds. Remember that if you're using licensed spectrum, or even if you're using Wi-Fi, you still need licenses in those countries. So what World Mobile doesn't particularly want to do is go out and get more licenses for 180 different countries. That doesn't make any sense. So in some cases, we will be doing that. In other cases, we will look for country partners that will be able to take on this sharing economy, offload some of the capex into a community model for where everybody benefits, and offload some of their opex into a community model where everybody benefits from the masses of money that comes from connecting the unconnected, or connecting the underserved, or connecting the already served. So it's just time. We know we want to open up OPAN for the whole world, but we're 107, 108 people at World Mobile, and we've got to stay super focused on delivering like we've delivered in Zanzibar, like we've delivered in Pakistan. Now we need to do it in the United States, the biggest consumer telecom market in the world. Once we've done that, we'll look to open up a lot of other places and find the partnerships. And the beauty of what we're doing right now is people are coming to us. They're coming to us and saying, this is really interesting. ISPs from all around the world, knocking on the door, sending emails, asking if they can adopt the sharing economy. So it will happen that OPAN will be available to cover the whole world at one point. But that's not going to be fast. And when I say fast, I mean it's not going to be 6 months or 3 months or 9 months. But I do believe that in the next 2 or 3 years, you'll see tens and tens and tens of countries being deployed in this sharing economy model.
Thanks for that, Micky. And just thanks for everyone on letting me talk. And I have been trying to get OPAN, partnered in OPAN, but because of the cost and things, yes. But I have good that my 100 has started something. I started becoming a community member with them. And I hope you soon reach out to Australia or India, my home and current working countries, and expecting to work with you.
We've got 5 Aussies on our team, 2 or 3 of them located in Australia right now.
Yeah.
We've also got some EarthNode operators I know that are in Australia that we speak to. And
we got
my
a good
wife,
too.
my wife is also half Australian, so it's coming.
Okay, excited, waiting for you. All right, thanks,
Thank
and
you very
passing on.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ENO22. Next up, we've got Ed and Stuff. Will it be Ed?
How you doing?
Will it be Stuff? How's it going? Stuff.
Yeah. So I just had a very general question, if you don't mind. Given the concerns that people brought up about the token selling from before, what, just in general, what are the incentives for people to buy and hold the token and kind of support the value of the network, which is obviously centered around that token? Are you planning on adding more utility that incentivizes people to hold it? Things like that, just generally speaking. I was just curious.
I think IO will be a big incentive. As a consumer, you're going to be able to stake to your SIM card or to delegate to Earth nodes and even potentially Air nodes over time. When you stake to your SIM card in the mobile application, you'll then receive better benefits, VIP status, VIP telephone numbers, access to value-added services. So there's a lot of utility that exists and will be shown and seen very soon in the mobile application as the network goes live. Remember, even though we've got 51,000, 52,000, maybe even more paying users, this is just the beginning. It's just starting. Right, we've got to the place where now the sharing economy, the software of V1 is almost all ready to go out there and launch in the beginning of next year. In the first quarter, the service for USA will be truly pumping a nationwide service, and we're looking to put as much utility as possible. I have so many ideas and so many concepts, but I can't overload a 25-man tech team, and I can't overload 30 engineers with. So I have to be super focused in what we're doing. But that utility will absolutely be there. And remember, there is a limited supply of World Mobile Token. Right now, we're not really recognized for what we're doing. But I can assure you that once there's 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million customers on the network, then the recognition, whether people want it or don't want it, will be there for World Mobile.
I just had a quick follow-up, unrelated to that, if you don't mind. Data and storage and compute, that kind of stuff is obviously pretty important to kind of Web3 and communications in general. And I was just curious, are you guys open to working with teams like Iagon, for example, or something like that, where they can provide infrastructure to support what you guys are doing?
Yeah, definitely. We've spoken to Iagon. Zach has some relationships open with them. But remember that World Mobile is also developing solutions. We never want to really reinvent the wheel. If somebody has a solution out there that is strong, is going to support our users, and is going to have the quality of service that's needed, we're very open to it. And Iagon's a cool project. But we've already designed some of this ourselves. So which parts we'll use of Iagon or a similar platform is still undecided. Right now, we want to be able to rely on our own development, on our own technology as much as we possibly can, unless we find something out there that's super robust and super good.
It could be just piecemeal, a little bit of both. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Stuff. Appreciate it.
Ed is fine.
Thank you, Stuff. Great to hear
Hi
from
to
you.
Ed as well.
Will do.
Really, a question from Karano Yogi prior to the space was asking about the affiliate and referral program and how that's envisaged to work.
Is that one to me, Mike?
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be an affiliate program for every component of the commercial side of World Mobile. You can be an affiliate for an Airnode. You can be an affiliate for eSIMs. That's something that we're working on. You're working on very, very hard, and the business development team are working on as well. And the affiliate is being part of the sharing economy. Typically, what has to happen is mobile network operators throw huge amounts of money. James will correct me if I'm wrong, but it's at least $200, $300 to acquire a user. And this was demonstrated by T-Mobile's acquisition of Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile had 2 to 3 million customers and was acquired for $1.35 billion, and I believe some T-Mobile shares. They didn't have a single piece of infrastructure. So this was simply for the users that the bid came in and got accepted. So acquisition of users typically is done in a legacy way. What we're trying to do is do it in a different way where that cost of acquisition becomes much lower. Of course, the cost of acquisition comes from underserved areas. If your house is like James's house and you don't have connectivity or really poor connectivity in most of the house and only in the kitchen you've got good connectivity, you're looking for a service that provides you that connectivity. Wi-Fi is super cool, but when you leave your house into the garden and then you disconnect, you're going to have to go back into where the connection is. And that happens a lot. So we're working on the affiliate programs, several of them at the same time, to ensure and stimulate and incentivize and have people who maybe don't want to be Airnode operators, maybe don't want to be hosts, but they still want to be part of this sharing economy, bring people on and get paid for that.
Yeah, acquiring customers is definitely something you can share in helping us with. So that's certainly the program we're putting together. In the USA, and similar in many markets, somewhere between 1% and 3% of customers churn every month. And they churn for a couple of reasons, but the biggest reason in the USA is coverage issues. So something like 70% of the reason for churning in America is because of coverage. And so that means there's a well of people that we can pick up every month, for which our service is ideally targeted, which is connect the unconnected, give you better coverage. So that's really focused.
And then it gets me super excited again about Scan for Points, because Scan for Points then gives us that information where those people are. We're not guessing. We're not just building a network. Hey, let's just build a network where every other network is. Eventually, that may happen, right? World Mobile has the chance and the potential to become the dominant player in the USA market and potentially a dominant player worldwide. But initially, we're very acute with data and understanding where we should deploy so that acquiring that user is because the user wants it. The user wants that connectivity. The user wants that connection. So it's quite an easy sell in a lot of cases, as opposed to just competing and saying, I've got this good advert out, I'm AT&T or I'm Verizon or I'm T-Mobile or I'm Vodafone, and their traditional ways of acquiring users onto their network is not our way. Our way is a new way, and the affiliate program is a big part of that. And allows everybody to be part of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you see the big networks everywhere in the world occasionally have a go at buying customers. Let me give you a free iPhone or whatever, their latest thing is. And that usually lasts about a month before the finance department comes and says, no, that's not a good way of acquiring customers. Why don't you find a pain point that they have and go solve it? And the pain point really in the USA and many places in the world is coverage.
Exactly the problem that we fix.
It's the thing I've been doing for 30 years, right? That's why I started in this whole industry, because my sister and my two sisters didn't have coverage at our homes. I thought that's ridiculous. It must be possible to fix this. And it's actually a little bit harder than it would at first appear. So.
But a question from Cal that came in as well just before the space, and he was asking, when can we start seeing data for nodes in Pakistan? Also, what kind of revenue and data usage are they bringing in comparison to Zanzibar? How is the updated WMT scan website coming along?
Antonio is working on all of the specifications for the WMT site. We don't want this to be a V1, V2, V3, or a beta. We want this to be an all-encompassing website where people can come and understand all the analytics, all the statistics of World Mobile, and also go to Visit to understand their node and what their node's doing outside of their dashboard, or also be able to flex, right? To their friends, community members, or just enjoy what they've built, becoming their own mobile network operator. Pakistan, there's quite a lot of nodes going up pretty fast. Usage over there is heavy from the users there, but it's still in a private beta. So only certain WorldCall customers are able to use it. And we're now working on what we discussed earlier, which is the core to be able to provide eSIMs that will connect to our but we're looking at $4 to $5 ARPU per user, which is a bit higher than what is in Zanzibar. Some goes to the local partner because they're running the network. Some goes to the hosts, the people that are running the network. Some will go to the people who are actually buying the infrastructure when OPAM becomes live. And of course, some goes to World Mobile. And then that sum comes back to paying for the core and buybacks, earth nodes, etc. And of course, you talked about affiliates earlier. We've already got local resellers and affiliates down as well. Not we, they have.
Sharing economies materializing in Pakistan. Next up, we've got the gold rush. How's it going? Here we go. You're up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that me? Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's always a little bit slow with the connection.
Yeah,
but you're here now.
Yeah, I missed the introduction as I was coming up. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. So I've been doing some of the scan for point stuff here in Tennessee. I'm probably like the primary contributor to mapping out Tennessee. Anytime I hit the road, I try to keep it on. I was curious. As you find certain areas are not getting mapped, are you planning to gamify that in any way? Like maybe put bounties on certain areas or something like that? I know that right now,
definitely,
I can't even really see how many points I've accumulated because the app doesn't show it yet. So I really have no idea how it's working, other than I know I'm trying to contribute. But yeah, I was just...
No, you are contributing, and all of the points that you've collected will be shown on the leaderboard, and then all of the features that Antonio and team are working on and Zach are working on to gamify this will come to fruition. Are we planning on bounties? Definitely. So as we get into the markets that we want to be in or that we're currently in, and we want to roll out these dense networks filling in the gaps in connectivity, we'll be putting on prizes, gamifying the whole process so that people actually go out there and do that, and incentivizing them to go out there and do that. And that's not just for the USA, right? That's going to be worldwide. So with each country that we have license or that we're launching in or that we have a partner in, we'll be running this, and then Mike and his team will be making sure that this is a very social activity where groups and teams can work together to win prizes, win points, and get on that leaderboard and actually connect the unconnected and do their part.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing where you are on the leaderboard.
Awesome. We've got Big Jim Beef coming up next.
Big Jim.
Big Jim, how's it going? It's been a while. And while we wait for Big Jim, just on scan for points. So in terms of incentivization, yes, there will be different tiers of points allocated depending on the level of scanning that's already taken place in a specific hex. So obviously an unscanned hex will have the highest initial kind of points target, and hexes that have been scanned but not fully will have lower points, and then obviously the hexes that have been scanned multiple times will have the lowest rewards. But then, of course, we will be adding in specific bounties and gamifying opportunities to target areas which are of high value to the World Mobile rollout. Jim Beef, are you with us? Oh, I think his connection has failed.
Go get yourself a World Mobile SIM card, Big Jim.
We'll tap him up. I'm going to give it one more go. Just add him back now and see if he connects.
I've actually got a meeting in 5 minutes, Mike, that I must jump off.
He's here. He's here. Okay, well, we'll make this last question tonight. Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
I'm not sure if I'm connected or not. I cannot
Great.
hear
PSP
anyone.
as well.
I'm going to
we
log
can
out
hear,
and
we can
try
hear you.
again.
Okay. Micky has a meeting in 4 minutes. While we wait to see if Big Jim Beef gets back on, we did get a question from Joe WMT on X, which I think is a really good question to round things off for this space. And that question was, what are the main goals for 2024? Is it user numbers, Airnode numbers, Aerostat launch, partnerships, etc.? I guess I can add to that. Is it all? All of those things and more?
It's all of those, right? Airnodes are really important because that's where the money flows in from. Without Airnodes, subscribers don't have infrastructure to run on. So Airnodes come first, subscribers come second, and then all of that feeds into the sharing economy to be processed by Earth nodes. Aerostat launch, as I said before, we have quite a few countries waiting for us that would like us to come in, but we're not really thinking about 2024 as the year of the Aerostats. There will be a few that go up, but our major focus is getting the sharing economy running. And Aerostats that do go up, hopefully, will be bought and owned by the community to contribute as the overarching signal of the network. And as more people get more confidence and see the partners that we're working with Aerostats, I think people would jump in and potentially deploy those Aerostats for us. But the true thing that we want to happen is the sharing economy to take off, right? We're not World Mobile doing any installations, not World Mobile doing anything except from running and helping support the sharing economy. It's probably not going to be happening in 2024 in full, but as we head into 2025, I reckon that's the year where the explosive growth really happens. And that's not to say that we won't put down 10, 15, 20,000 nodes during 2024. We think we will. But when I'm talking about millions of nodes, I think 2025 is probably the year that we go there. But the same growth, huge growth.
Only four weeks to go now till 2024. It's going to be a big year, mobile is. Thank you for your time this evening, afternoon, morning for some over in Australia, New Zealand. Look forward to speaking to you again shortly. Over and out. Thanks to all the speakers as well.
Thank you, all speakers. Thank you, community. Thank you for everybody that came up. It was a shame that some of the people that were spreading information online didn't come up to the spaces, but I hope we delivered everything that we always promised to deliver, full transparency, updates, and I'm looking forward to the ENO call next week, where answers that you couldn't get today will be given. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, James. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Mike.
Recover.
Thank you, the legendary Zach, for hosting this as always, and thank you for everybody that continues to contribute, connects the unconnected, serves the underserved. Remember, together we're unstoppable. I'm off to another meeting. Over.
Thanks, Micky. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you.